Okay, Persia. So at the same time, we still have after this we have Greece. We still have Persia to do. At the same time that all these things were going on, you also have Persia. So Persia develops from, at one point I showed you a map where there was this kingdom of Elam here. Well, that eventually develops and it becomes a number of empires, one after the other, with different names and different rulers. But it gets bigger and bigger, it becomes its own civilization. So this is the world in the 6th century BC. Egypt has declined dramatically back then. New kingdom is not what Egypt used to be. Babylonia is pretty big, and there's things happening here, but Greece is really still in its beginning. You know, as you already know, there will be wars between Greece and Persia eventually. They will both be major powers at the same time. And Persia is becoming bigger and bigger eventually with Cyrus first and with Darius becomes a major empire, eventually conquers this whole area. So it's going on approximately when the Phoenicians are peaking, the Egyptians are declining, Babylonian has just peaked. Greece is just beginning to develop, okay? And it really depends, when we talk about Persia, today it's called Iran, I assume you know. It really depends who we're talking about, because these were actually different people with different religions. Even at some point, even different languages, so it really depends. Like, these guys were Greeks. The ruling class was physically from Greece and speaking Greek. And the Persians are the ones that Rome fought against. That's why we say Persia. It comes from the Latin name for these guys, the Persians. These are the ones who were conquered by the Arabs. These are the ancient ones. Now, these are the most famous ones, sorry. These are the most famous ones. Okay. And these are the ones that fight against the Greeks. So the story of Persia, if you do it very condensed, is kind of confusing because you don't know what you're talking about. But this is the empire that conquered the Middle East. And besides Darius, who is the one who invaded everything, Cyrus is another one that is important. I think I have a slide. But the one thing we have to say about that civilization at that point, the one major contribution is Mazdaism, actually. Yet another religion, but what is different is that it's one God. It's one God. In all the other cases, there were gods. And sometimes there's Marduk at one point becomes number one. Osiris becomes number one. There's gods. One God, Mazda. And actually two. He created the world, he's the God of light, he's the supreme God. But then there's his enemy. His enemy is the God of darkness. Ahriman, I was looking for the name, I don't remember the name. So there's this cosmic battle between the God of light and the God of darkness. That's really what Mazdaism is about. Most famous prophet, Zarathustra. And so this is really, to me, the birth of monotheism. Because before that, you have episodes. But this eventually becomes the state religion, this bigger thing. And so what Zoroaster did really he was preaching against all the other gods except that one. Okay, there's one God and it has one enemy. And the Avesta is the holy book of the we say Zoroastrians, but we should really say of the Mazdaists. The religion is about Mazda. Later, maybe. Okay, so this is a revealed religion. Okay, when God explains what the religion is all about, that's a revealed religion. That's what will happen with Judaism and Christianity. Those are revealed religions. This is the first one. It's eschatological. It means at the end of time, something happens. What happens? Somebody comes, wins, all the dead are resurrected and judged. Okay? And there's an apocalypse, there's a resurrection of the